Right now, you know why? Because this is the first episode of my new Instagram live show that I'm calling Let's Go Live with Sharon Carpenter. Can you guess why? That's right. Because we're going live and I'm Sharon Carpenter. I'm going to be interviewing celebrities, newsmakers about all the hot topics that you guys care about. Okay, over the next few weeks, it's going to be candid, casual, informational, inspirational as well. And most of all, I hope you guys have a ton of fun with it. Now, my first guest on Let's Go Live is an absolutely incredible rapper. He's an incredible actor as well. His name is Utkarsh Ambudkar, and we're about to bring him up any second now. You saw him perform on the Oscars. Remember the rapper who performed on the Oscars halfway through with Questlove DJing? It was incredible. Brad Pitt loved it, that's for sure. He's been in movies such as Pitch Perfect, Disney's live action Mulan, which is coming out this year. And he has two major projects, one with Ryan Reynolds and one with Jennifer Lopez coming out later this year as well. Let me find Utkarsh right now. Utkarsh, did you send me a request? I think you're on. Wait, what's this? Here we go. Yes. Utkarsh should be coming up any second now. And what's the coolest thing? Oh, here he is.
Hey.
Utkarsh, how you doing?
I'm good. It's nice to see you. How are you doing?
It's good to see you. It's good to see you. It's been a while. You're quarantining out there in LA right now?
I'm in LA. Where are you? Are you in Brooklyn?
I'm in Brooklyn, yeah.
How you doing? You guys doing okay?
I'm doing all right. I feel like LA is the place to be with the sun streaming in through the windows. It's been a little gray in New York.
Yeah, it's not. It's warm. It's like 95 degrees today. So
is it?
Yeah, LA, it's good. We're sending love to New York, though. Lots of love to you. And congrats on your first show on the maiden voyage. Here we are together.
Thank you. I know. We're making history right now. Thank you for being my first guest.
Heck yeah.
So I just gave a wonderful intro about some of the incredible stuff you've done. But what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to do at the start of every show, Let's Go Live, is a quick fire round, sort of an icebreaker. You and I know each other already, but it's really a chance for the audience to get to know who you are as a person in a short amount of time.
All right.
Okay. So there are going to be some fun questions in here. Are you ready for the quick fire round?
I am. Who's the cat behind you, though? We got.
So this is Chewy right here.
What up, Chewy?
This is Chewy, my Bengal. He is very sweet but very naughty at the same time.
It's pretty cool, though. You got your own hype man.
I do, and I have another one as well, but she's not very impressed. She's sleeping right now.
Chewy is holding it down. All right, Chewy, we'll talk later.
Holding it down for us. All right, so let's get started with our quick fire round right now. Okay. Greatest career moment so far?
Probably Brittany Runs a Marathon.
And that was a recent movie.
For Amazon. That was really fun to do with Jillian Bell and really well received. And then I would probably say being on Broadway with Freestyle Love Supreme earlier this year. That's like a freestyle rap comedy group. We've been together for 15 years. And they finally let us on Broadway, which was super dope. So we did a 4-month run on Broadway. We finished it up in January. So I think those two so far feel pretty good.
Well, those are pretty big. All right. Here's an important one. Quarantine snack of choice. We need to know, Utkarsh. We need to know.
Well, I ran out of Thin Mints. I'm going to tell you guys. I thought I had enough Thin Mints for the year, but I was wrong. I was sorely mistaken. Them shits disappeared quickly. So I cashed out my Thin Mints stock, and now I'm on Oreos. Now I'm on like probably my 40th sleeve of Oreos, if I'm being honest with you guys.
Wow.
But like true, like not double stuffed. So like I'm not a heathen. Like none of the blondies, just plain old Oreos, just a regular guy.
Just stay away from the Cadbury's cream eggs, okay? Because those are mine.
Go for it. I'm not big on cream and chocolate the combination.
Oh, that's
even though delicious. I just said I like Oreos, but those are like the consistency is a little different. There's a little more crunch to it. But
biscuity. They're
Yeah. The biscuits. We
biscuits,
like the
as we
biscuits.
like to say in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's a good one. If you had to quarantine with a co-star from one of your movies, past or present, who would it be and why?
Oh man, that's a really good question. You know, it depends on where I'm at with my life. If I was still getting rowdy and partying the way I used to when I was in my 20s, I would pick Adam Devine from Pitch Perfect. He played
Okay.
Bumper and I played Donald. That dude and I ran through Louisiana. It was so fun working with him. And we also worked on a movie for Netflix called Game Over Man, which was really fun.
So you guys
So
are tight.
he's the homie. Adam would be my ride or die if I was still going hard in the paint. If but I guess as a grown up, you know what? I would say he probably would say no to this, but I just finished a movie with Ryan Reynolds, who's like the kindest freaking older brother, dad, uncle. He's just the sweetest, nicest Canadian man, and he's been so effortlessly kind and supportive of me in my career since we worked together. And I would imagine he'd be an easy guy to get along with in a quarantine. I think we'd be cool.
That's awesome. I think it's a yes. I think it's a yes if you offered.
He seems like a very well-mannered young man, and I'd like to spend more time with him.
Nice. Quarantine bro right there. Mm-hmm. All right, so this one might be a little trickier. Who would you most definitely not want to quarantine with?
Lamorne Morris.
Oh, Lamorne. Lamorne's my boy. Lamorne's coming on next week.
Tell Lamorne I said this. Screenshot this shit. Let this be the ad so he could see it. Lamorne, stay away from me, you sick bastard.
Okay, that gives me some juicy, scandalous stuff to talk about when I interview him now next week.
He'll hopefully appreciate it. He just came out with a new album called The Lamorning After Pill, which is amazing. That's a great name too. I don't want to be in the same room as dude, but I love him and I enjoy everything he does, and he knows I'm playing. You guys love each other. Very much.
All right. Number one guilty pleasure.
Oh shit! The Oreos don't count.
They don't count. X out the Oreos. Keep it clean though, because it's a family show right here.
Fortnite. Fortnite is the guilty pleasure. The amount of time I spend playing Fortnite is embarrassing for a 36-year-old man with a family. It just shouldn't be. But it's what happens.
I think it's quite normal nowadays, to be honest.
Dude, I got a squad and everything, and all of us just log on every night and get whomped. We're all over the age of 30, I think, and we all just get whomped by preteens who are Friday night and Saturday night is real sweaty in Fortnite. Let me just tell you, when those Zoom classes, when those kids who don't have Zoom in the morning, my goodness, they are rough.
Perfect for quarantine then. Okay, that was your number one guilty pleasure. Number one turn off.
Number one turn off. That's I would probably say ego. Okay. I would probably say people.
You meet a lot of those in Hollywood, I'm sure.
I think folks who get high on their own supply are kind of hard to be around.
Yeah.
And then I'm guilty of it, so I turn myself off on a regular.
You are.
But punctuality, a lack of punctuality.
Okay.
But I mean,
you almost had me worried earlier as well, because I texted Ukash like a while ago and I couldn't get hold of it. But you were very punctual. You were very punctual. You're doing me proud right now. Okay, thanks. Craziest fan experience in person or online?
There's a lot. I probably can't share them, but there's those DMs can be a dark and strange place.
It goes down in the DMs.
It certainly something happens. There can be some real interesting individuals, but for the most part, I'm at a stage in my career where people root for me, where they show a lot of love and support, and hopefully, I've carried myself as a person in a manner that earns that and sort of, I don't want to say deserves, but I try my best to just sort of walk through life with a lightness of being. And what up, James Holloway? We did a play together when I was 20 years old, and it's 16 years later, and my guy's in the room.
So they're showing you a lot of love and a lot of other things in the DMs. Got it.
Yes, there's a whole lot of DPs in the DMs. But yeah, I don't think I'm at a place yet where it gets too weird. There's just a lot of really good messages and a lot of positivity.
Nice. All right, most embarrassing or awkward public moment so far? Have you had many of those?
So many.
Really? What's the worst or / best?
Worst. One time I was at I was in this hip hop group and we opened up for Public Enemy and at BB King's in New York, which no longer exists. What up, Fiona? Fiona Bloom in the house. Fiona's
Mixtape Riot.
Fiona remembers how wild your boy used to get. Fiona has firsthand experience. No, freaking
Mixtape Riot days. Can you explain quickly what that is?
Sure. Myself, Charlie Bethel, Kadeem O with Fiona Bloom and the Bloom Effect and Jules Kim, who's an amazing jeweler. We used to throw this party called Mixtape Riot in New York. I don't know, 10 years ago now, maybe more than that. And we had Pharoah Monch, Santi Gold, Spank Rock. I think we did something, maybe not Lady Sovereign, Ladybug Mecca. Fiona would know.
Lady Sovereign, I remember her.
We've done shows with Lady Sovereign too. And we used to just throw these parties in New York, and I would toast and I would rap and host these parties, and musicians would come in and it would be a live mixtape on stage. We did it all over New York and Brooklyn, and I think you might have even been at some of them back in the day.
Yeah, I think I did come to one or two. So we may have actually met before we realized we met.
And we've talked about this. Yeah, I mean,
we did. Yeah,
but we were so memorable that both of us were completely spaced. So we used to do that. But I was at this show. We opened for Public Enemy, and Indian kid, white kid, and a Korean dude opening up for Public Enemy, and a little suspect back in those days. Now I think stigma with the SoundCloud generation is a lot different. And that's amazing. But there were a lot of people who were like, what the is going on right now? And I remember like everybody in hip hop was there, like African Kool Herc was there.
Wow.
Ice-T, Kid Kangle, Grandmaster Caz, like all these old school giants were there.
Originators.
And Ice-T was there, and he saw us perform. And I was a huge fan of Ice-T and Coco. And I was like, I got to say hi to my man. 6 a.m. I got to say, most people don't know. Ice-T started off as a rapper in the Rhyme Syndicate in L.A.
Yeah.
He was huge. And he's still huge, just for very different reasons. But which is a testament to his versatility. But I wrote up on Ice-T, and I'm like, oh, man, I'm a huge fan. And I'm blah, blah, blah. And Ice-T looked at me and was like, yeah, man, all right, Youngblood, like, congratulations and good luck to you. And he said good luck, and I didn't have time to listen to it. And instead of saying, like, thank you, continued success to you as well, he said good luck, and I just went, you too. And he looked at me like, did this motherfucker just tell me good luck? And I had to sort of wheel it back, but it was done. Like, there was like a moment of warmth, which immediately went ice cold.
Ice cold.
Because I told the OG good luck. So I learned my lesson very quickly that with your elders and people you look up to, just like make sure you take a breath and listen, because the things that come out of my mouth sometimes can really embarrass me.
That's good advice. That's really good advice. Okay, just 2 more from the quickfire round. Favorite album of all time, since we're on music?
It would be an Outkast album, probably Aquemini.
Okay.
There's a group called the Dungeon Family, which was Outkast, Goody Mob, this guy Cool Breeze, and I'm probably missing some people. Oh, Youngbloods. But Outkast, Aquemini, and Goody Mob Still Standing are 2 of my favorite albums of all time. And then
I saw on Instagram your story about meeting Andre 3000. We'll talk about that later. It's a good story. Kidding me? In the parking lot, by the way. Yeah.
And then there's a reggae Indian dude named Apache Indian who's British. Yeah. Excuse me. And he has an album from like 92 or 93 called No Reservations, which I still bump on the regular.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. I haven't checked that one out. I'm gonna have to. Okay, last one from the quick fire round. One item you absolutely cannot live without.
I would say a pen.
A pen. So you don't type on your phone or computer too much. You still handwrite, and
I
the
handwrite
ancient
everything.
art of writing with a pen.
Yeah, my hand cramps up like a motherfucker too every time because of how rarely I do it. But any script I write always is pen to pad first. Any song, if I write it down, I don't often I don't write when I'm writing music, but actually write. But if
Yeah.
I do have to write it down, it's pen and pad. So I would say a pen. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. By the way, you guys watching, if you have any questions for Utkarsh, please put those in the question area, because these comments we're not going to be able to bring back later, I don't think. So if you can stick those, there's some sort of a question box somewhere.
It's so
So
crazy
if you can
how
find that, that would be great. That would be awesome. All right, let's get into the real thing, into the deep stuff. Let's talk quarantine first of all, self-isolation. How have you been making it through? Have you picked up any sort of weird and wonderful habits or hobbies aside from stuffing your face with Oreos?
well, the strangest thing is the fact that like you and I have known each other for a little bit. We've never
Yeah.
FaceTimed. FaceTiming
We've
is
never FaceTimed.
it's such an intimate activity reserved only really for like close family members or like people you're seeing, and all of a sudden now it's just become the social norm for how we communicate. It's like
True.
folks are just FaceTiming at when they just think they're allowed, which is like
Yeah.
very strange. So getting used to sort of like the increase actual like this is pretty intimate. To get used to sort of the increase in intimacy has been really strange.
Yeah.
Quarantine has been a lot about staying off the news. Honestly, I think I don't know. Look, I'm not in. These are all my own opinions, so
Yeah.
don't take me out of context. Anybody who's watching or listening, but like, it seems like there's a different perspective or point of view on this pandemic every single day. So I've just been trying to
True.
stay off the news, maintain some level of routine, and I mean basic routine: make the bed, brush the teeth, take a shower, put on a shirt.
Actually get dressed.
Put on a shirt.
Especially
I mean,
if you're FaceTiming.
yeah. I mean, like, I'll be real with you. I'm definitely wearing the same shorts I slept in because you can't see my legs. But like, as far as you
Well,
know,
at least you're wearing shorts.
thank you. Thanks. I also had to pat myself on the back for that. But no, I've just been trying to keep it simple. Same stuff. I'll be real with you. Anybody who really knows me knows that, like, other than work and going to the movies, I basically quarantine anyways. I'm kind of a hermit. I stay home. I watch my TV, play my Fortnite, eat, cook for myself, and you know, we got a nice little pad here, and I kind of keep it pretty solo dolo anyway.
Kind of low key anyway.
Me and the fam, yeah. So it's not too different for me. It's just being afraid. It's sort of it's that extra fear that comes with, you know, being worried about my parents' health and my friends and just like
How
everybody
are your parents
else.
doing? Where are your parents?
They're in Maryland. They're taking it seriously, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody I love and care about seems to be doing the, I guess, what you would call the right thing based on who you listen to. Some people might say going out and protesting for our right to congregate is the right thing to do, and it's their choice. But my family is trying to keep their health. Yo, is the host single? Sharon, capital letters.
That means he's yelling it.
Yanni C. Brooke. Yanni, you're just going to have to wait, bro. It's not my show, all right?
No questions for me. All the questions are for Utkarsh right now.
Yanni, to shoot your shot, bro. So, no. Quarantine is... I'm chilling, man. I'm making a lot of soup. I'm cooking a lot. It's good.
Yeah. Now, creatives, people in the entertainment industry as a whole have been hit really hard by this, right? The fallout of this pandemic. Can you talk to us about what sort of actors, since you're an actor and an artist, what are some of the things that these types of creatives, such as yourself, are going through right now, with productions being cancelled, put on hold, You know, shows canceled.
Yeah. Look, I'm sure like most people are having some sort of financial strain right now. Um, whether they've been let go or furloughed or their workflow has been greatly diminished in every field, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to acknowledge that before I talk about my specific experience. Yeah, I think a lot of people have been embracing this sort of Zoom, sort of remote thing. You know, we're all pretty privileged in that we don't have to be working in the sense that, like, we're not on quote unquote front lines, as it were. We're not medical professionals. We're not delivery people. We're not cleaning staff. You know, we aren't people who are constantly exposed to the virus or you know, people that are adjacent to it. But so we have this place of privilege where we're staying home, and our like biggest problem is that we don't have purpose. We don't know what to do with ourselves, right? Which creates this extreme pressure to be creative or to find a new hobby or to be productive or to finish a script or an album or whatever it is. And
that's what people keep telling creatives to do. Like, this is your time to be as productive as possible, right?
yeah,
You
but
hear it again and again.
Inspiration or where it comes from doesn't know there's a pandemic going on. Like, if you got writer's block or you can't come up with a hook or like that script is not coming out, that has nothing to do with Corona. You know what I'm saying? Like, why put undue pressure on yourself during what is a social and societal crisis to create something when all you really need to do, like I said, is, homie, just brush your teeth, wake up, put on a new shirt, shower, eat a well balanced diet, and try and reach out to the people you love. And if that act of self-worth and self-esteem breeds creativity, then by all means dive in. But like, if you're picking up a guitar or whatever your instrument is and saying, I must create because I have time, anybody who creates knows that that shit ain't never gonna happen.
Yeah.
What up, Martin? Brown power, baby. Anybody, like Martin will tell you, Martin's Eve's DJ among many other things. Martin's in the UK. Martin knows, man, you can't just turn the fire on. That comes from, in my opinion, a spiritual and divine light that and the only way to tap into it is if your antenna is working. Like, if your instrument is clean, that's when you get inspiration.
Yeah. And without the anxiety that a lot of people are feeling right now, anxiety about their health, the health of their loved ones, their financial situation, which can take a toll as well on your creative juices flowing, right?
Yeah. Martin, you said it, bro. There are more important things to worry about right now than putting out a dope song.
Yeah.
Now, if I happen to put out some hot shit, like, good for me. But I'd much rather be there for my family and try and be of service in my day-to-day life and not put that creative pressure on myself. You know, I think it's admirable what people are trying to do, and I'm a part of these sort of what do you call them, relief efforts and things like that. So we're putting together these sort of online plays and online shows, and people are doing
awesome.
And we're using our skills, the limited skills that we have. If we're talking big picture, the fact that I can say words that other people write and make up some raps, I'm pretty useless right now. Outside of my family bubble. But like, if I can use what little footprint I have in this world and society to be of some help and, you know, help raise some money so that the people who can really use it for good can, then I'm super willing, and I applaud people for being proactive in that way. But I'm not putting any undue pressure on myself because I'm a nervous dude. I get anxious. I'm extremely paranoid is the wrong word, but I'm concerned about my health and safety and my family's. Like, I am not somebody who's like, everything's cool. I'm generally the person who wakes up like, what's going to go wrong today? So the maintenance between my ears is very important to me. So like,
you've got to be in the right state of mind.
Yeah, and I'm meditating which is like not my forte. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I sit cross-legged levitating every day. That's not me. But I've been doing like 5-minute meditations. I got up to 13 minutes, but that just turned into a nap. So like 5 to 7 is my sweet spot.
It's hard for me to meditate, to just block out everything else that's going on and just quiet my mind. Someone has to really teach me how to do that. Now, let's talk a bit about, before the pandemic hit, you had an incredible moment. Maybe the most high-profile moment of your career so far, the Oscars? Would you say that?
Sure. I mean, most people saw it.
I'm just there watching TV, watching the Oscars, and suddenly here you are. And I screamed, and Fiona and I were texting each other. Like, are you watching this? We were so happy. But you performed alongside, right after Eminem. He performed earlier in the show. Elton John performed later in the show. Sorry about that car alarm going off. This is Brooklyn, after all. And while you're rhyming, Brad Pitt is there in the audience, super excited about what you just said about him. He loved that. What was that moment like for you with the whole of Hollywood, anyone who's anyone, right there in front of you? You came out there on stage saying, you guys don't know me. But by the time you left, everyone knew who you were.
Thank you. I would hope so, because that shit was not easy. It was a very uncomfortable experience, if I'm being honest with you. There was a lot of fear. It was extremely high pressure, which was okay because I'm kind of used to that. I think anyone who performs live is used to the fear of being on stage. And then the minute you hit the stage, you're a fish in water. It's actually when you're not on stage that shit is kind of awkward. Yeah. But the main thing for me was like, those are extremely wealthy people. They're extremely wealthy people of a certain ethnicity and cultural background. And I felt it's hard not to feel sort of not an imposter syndrome, but an otherness when I'm in those rooms. Like the amount of times I was asked for my credentials, sort of, what are you doing here? That was pretty challenging. And I know that the producers, who I know well, who are wonderful, really talented, powerful, creative women, Stephanie and Lynette, they saw the disparity in the nominees and Hollywood as a whole in terms of how we choose to represent ourselves. So I think that's why they populated the presenting panel with so much diversity. Now, it was a heavy-handed move, but what are you supposed to do? You need to balance the boat. So therefore, Janelle Monáe, Anthony Ramos, Lynn, Manuel Miranda, to know him by his three names. Yeah, my best buddy. And myself, Mindy Kaling, Big Sister Mindy. Shout out to Mindy.
And Big Sister on the show as well, just in case people don't know that. You're her younger brother on the Mindy Project. Right.
So I knew that I had to sort of address the fact that, like, y'all are some of a certain ilk. It looks like a lot. It's like somebody ate all the cereal and it's just the milk is left with like some of that cinnamon from the Cinnamon Toast Crunch is left over. But I had to address that, as well as doing my job, which is, to essentially just recap the show up until that point. Got to work with Questlove, who's a genius.
We love Questlove.
And, for most people, like I said, I'm at a place in my career where people are showing love and a lot of support. And there were a few people, again, of a certain background. See how important it was for brown people that I was up there. And I didn't fully fathom it because in the moment, it's just fucking terrifying. But afterwards, I thought South Asians in India don't really check for us, Sharon, you and I here in the States or in the UK, India is 1.2 billion people. And I thought they sort of just focus on Bollywood and what's happening there because that industry is so rich and full of lush, life, and their film industry thrives on a level that we couldn't even touch here in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But after after that performance, the response from India, from within India, from my family was huge. I was not prepared to be on the
Wow,
front page.
really?
Yeah, and I'm on the front page in the paper in Pune,
That's
in
amazing.
and it's written in Marathi so that my grandmother, who doesn't speak English, can actually finally read about me in her mother tongue. So that just that fact makes it okay. Like all the other stuff, the industry stuff, blah blah blah. Everyone has an opinion, but at the end of the day, like my grandma got to read about me in her own language. So
That's
that
incredible.
that's my win.
You know, your feed just suddenly got much clearer.
Hmm.
Did you just do something? Now
No.
you're like crystal clear.
Oh, was I not before?
No, it was a little pixelated before, but
Oh,
we
that's
could
so.
hear you, but it was just a little pixelated.
Oh, sorry, guys. No, it's
No,
probably just the internet. Probably somebody in the house just went off of
stopped
Wi-Fi.
uploading a huge file.
Yeah.
Sent it. All right. So,
Oh,
would
maybe
you?
I was gonna say
How?
maybe my iCloud was uploading. I have no idea.
Oh, it was you. You were the culprit.
Dude, I have no fucking clue how to work one of these things. It's amazing that we're doing this right now.
I know because you texted me earlier, like, "Oh, I can get on the computer, right?"
But
No.
it's not. Yeah, I don't even have a computer. It's not
Oh,
mine.
you don't?
Yeah, yeah. So
So that would have been even trickier then.
it'd have been tough.
But no, one of the things, I'm a big cheerleader of yours, obviously, because I know you, because you're super talented and you deserve it. But because you're Indian as well, and I'm half Indian. And like you said, you don't really get to see people like us at the Oscars on stage in this way. I looked at your filmography the other day, and it is like a novel. I mean, you have been in everything, movies, TV shows. But talk to me about how that journey has been as somebody who is Indian American in this industry that's not exactly known for embracing diversity.
Um, I think that the industry embraces diversity, but they embrace it on their own terms, right? So if you saw me walk into an audition room for an Indian role with a backwards cap and oh yeah, and studs and like a even this, as a casting director historically in Hollywood, you're going to be like, that dude doesn't look like an Indian. He doesn't look like what I think a South Asian person looks like and should act like. If I threw some glasses on him, parted his hair, gave him a sweater vest and a tie, that would work. But we don't believe you as Indian. We like you, but we don't know where to put you. You can't be the lead because that's got to be a straight white male. Like historically speaking, right? Things have changed.
Yeah.
And it's funny how Hollywood still sort of really, really, and television really leans on that because you'll see it now. There's a great show on Amazon. It's really fun. It's called The Upload. It just came out.
The Upload. Okay.
And you can tell watching it that they were like, we need a really diverse show. So everybody's diverse in the show except for the lead who's a straight white male. But we got to have our Tom Cruise straight white male as the lead. And you're looking at all the other casting and you're like, I guess I'm cool with the fact that like you populated the rest of the world with people of color and different ethnicities. But like, it just seems, it's just so indicative of like, definitely like, I know who cast that show. Like, I know that show was cast by probably Caucasians who were like, well, we're super woke and we got to do well. So we're going to fill in the fact that like our main cash cow is a straight white male because we cannot get off of that. And I know what it is. If you're a person who's creative and white, I get that you would want you to represent yourself. Now, the difference is we don't have as many executives or producers yet. It's building every day who are like, I want to tell my story and have it be heard. But that being said, like I have had a blessed, privileged career in spite of that. I feel like most of us who have worked extremely hard have tried our best. We've stayed strong. I'm not the only one. Manish Dayal, Arjun Gupta, Parvesh China, Ravi Patel, Pej Vadat, Vinny Chibber, Kunal Nair,
Priyanka Chopra.
Priyanka, Sakina Jaffrey, Melanie Chandra. It goes on and on, right? Now I can't name the amount of South Asians who are on television and film because it used to be 10 of us just fighting for scraps, you know?
Yeah.
And if there was like a rapping Indian, they'd be like, well, Utkarsh is going to get that. If there was like a pretty Indian, Manish was going to get that. Funny Indian, Parvesha Ravi would fight over that. Like, it's, we have so many more opportunities now. So now there's like a next phase. Now it's like, well, be grateful for what you have. Cool. I am. But I also wouldn't be me if I wasn't trying to strive for something bigger. So what does that mean for me? Maybe that means writing or creating my own material, which I've had the opportunity to do in development. It hasn't reached the end game, which is been shot yet. So that's something.
Yeah.
What else is there? Well, Brittany Runs a Marathon was a really nice experience for my self-esteem and my confidence because I got to play a romantic lead in a film that was well received and nobody saw it as weird. They might think I'm weird because I'm a quirky actor for sure. Like I'm a comedic actor, so I know I'm silly, but nobody thought it was weird that a brown dude and Jillian Bell were in love. They actually were super touched by that story.
Yeah.
And so that gave me confidence to sort of occupy that space. I love romantic comedies and I'd be super fun to like play a romantic lead in that regard, you know?
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
As opposed to the dude's best friend, right?
Yeah.
Also, it would be really fun to play opposite an Indian woman.
Yeah.
As romantic love interests and to be the leads there in a Hollywood production. I think Mindy's new show on Netflix shows us that there's a real market for South Asian work. Because I always joke like this, right? Like if you and I went into an audition room, right, and we sat there and I'm like, oh, she's Indian, I'm Indian. I wonder if they'll put us together. It's like, nah, dude, for sure. Sharon is for sure going to be the exotic, freaking sex pot bad guy girl who our straight white male falls for and seduces, and they freaking make sweet love in a freaking on a beach or some fucking weirdo location. And so Sharon and this white dude are like, who's our secret agent man, have their little love fling, and I am sitting at a computer bank with a headset on, telling our straight white lead where Sharon is. And the two shall never meet. And we've made 1.2 billion people on this earth and wrote the Kama Sutra. But as far as Hollywood is concerned, we are not a viable romantic match yet. So,
but you think that's changing?
Yes, 100%.
Would you say, so somebody said this to me the other day, actually someone who works for CNN, he was saying, oh, it's really like on trend now to be Indian, to be South Asian. It's like the cool thing. Is that how you feel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's on trend to be authentic and genuine to your own experience.
Yeah.
And I think that is what people are starting to really get behind. They're afraid of it because being authentic and genuine to my own experience means that a lot of people who I'm going into the room to sort of sell or share my story with won't understand it. They have to have faith that I'm an expert on me. And they also have to have faith based on my resume and how I comport myself in life that I'll be able to tell a story and be financially viable, that their investment won't go their investment will be worth something. Yeah. But I think being South Asian when I started at 20 was not viable in movies or television, but it was super viable in commercials. So I booked a shit ton of McDonald's and Radio Shack and blah, blah, blah. Like I knew they wanted brown at the commercial level. Yeah. Like on just for spots to sell.
And that could be a great launching pad. Lamorne, who you were talking about earlier, we love Lamorne. He did a bunch of commercials before he started doing TV and movies, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's where it starts, right? And then it moved into television. And for many, many years, I was like the guy, I have like 13 or 14 failed pilots under my belt, right? The amount of pilots I've done, the only shows that I've done that were White Famous, which was super fun. Shout out Jay Farrow, also someone who I would not ever want to be quarantined with. I'm joking.
You'd be laughing Jay. Your way through it, though. You'd be laughing
Jay.
Your way through quarantine.
Jay is maybe the most talented person I've ever worked with. Actually,
really,
him.
That's just a big thing to say because you've worked with some major players.
Pound for pound, work ethic, talent, and heart. Jay is really so much more talented than Lamorne. It's not even funny. And Jillian Bell has the #1 spot, and she knows it. But Jay is amazing. Anyway, White Famous and this other show, Legends, with Sean Bean, where I died in the pilot. Otherwise, you know, in television, I was sort of like chipping away, and then somehow, thanks to Blind Spotting, shout out Rafa and Diggs, and some other movies, I've sort of, now the last 4 or 5 jobs I've done have all been movies. And it seems like it's happened overnight. And then I look back and I go, when was the first time? I'm 36. The first time I got paid to act was when I was 20. So that's
And what 16. Was that?
That was, where's James? James might have left.
Is James still there?
James Holloway and I did a play together called History of the Word, which was a hip-hop theater play. And I think that was my first acting paycheck. Might have been. Or it was a commercial. It might have been an MTV spot with Timbaland. And I got paid $500 to be on set all day and bop my head for a Timbaland.
That's not too bad. $500 then what? That was like 15 years ago?
Oh, are you kidding me? Like 15 years ago, if you gave me $1,500, in my mind, I thought, cool, I have enough money for the year. Like, I was... Yeah.
So, tell me about your you have a couple of new projects.
Sure.
That are coming out that are really exciting. You mentioned one of them already with Ryan Reynolds. It's called Free Guy. Right?
Yeah, Free Guy's a great movie.
That's coming out in December 2020.
Yeah, it got moved from July 4th weekend to December 11th. So 3 days after my birthday.
Oh, okay. Big celebration. And hopefully we'll be back out by then. Tell me a little bit about the movie and then working with... No, you don't think so?
I have no idea. Don't listen.
We just don't know at this point, do we? Any fun Ryan stories? I mean, you said you'd love to be quarantined with him because he's such a great guy. Do you have any fun stories from behind the scenes or on set?
Free Guy. No, because it was so professional. It was such a professional job. Joe Keery is incredible, who's plays Steve on Stranger Things. Everyone was just so lovely. Like Joe Keery from Stranger Things, who plays Steve. So I'm sure he's got a lot of stands. Joe Keery is the nicest dude. It's off-putting how nice he is.
Really?
And Jodie Comer from, I think the show's called Killing Eve.
Oh, yeah. On BBC America.
She's like the dopest gal. She's super, super nice, engaging. And by the way, like my standards they start really low in Hollywood. Like engaging, like nice just means you ask somebody else how they're doing.
Yeah.
And but all these people, Sean Levy, our director, so gregarious, kind, and giving. Then Taika Waititi, who like the first day I met him was like, give me your number and let's go have dinner. And he's somebody who I've admired since his early work on Boy in New Zealand. And then there's Ryan and Rel, who I did Brittany Runs a Marathon with. I love Rel. Rel is dope. Everybody in this cast shines, except, you know, I was going to say except for me, but I don't need to be self-deprecating. We all fucking crush it, dude.
Yeah. It's
a really good movie. It's a great action comedy with a lot of heart. It's really high concept. And Zach Penn, who wrote it with Ryan, was really giving and helpful. And Sean let us improvise. And they're just nice people, man. They're just people who ask you how you're doing, check in on you. Joe, Ryan, and Sean all came to see me on Broadway.
Oh, that's awesome.
They were there opening night, third row.
Really?
And yeah, they were fucking cool, man.
So
It's
no wild partying like you did during Pitch Perfect.
no,
Wild
like,
nights in Louisiana.
oh no, it was Boston. It was Boston in the middle of summer. We had
Uh,
there were some spaghetti dinners.
much
That
more conservative. You are also starring in a movie with the woman I want to be when I grow up, Jennifer Lopez, and she is
I
the
wouldn't
it
say
chick right
starring.
now.
I would say that was more of like just a fun thing because Kat, the director, and I, we have the same manager, and I was in New York doing Broadway, and 7, 8 shows a week can get pretty. It
That's a
can be
lot.
yeah, it can be quite difficult improvising a rap show 8 times a week. So I was like, "Yo, man, put me on the set. I need like some craft services. I need some. I gotta get. I need a break."
Yeah.
And Kat, I think someone had just dropped out of this sort of guest. It's more like a guest star, like a cameo role.
Yeah.
And so I signed up. I was like, yeah, I'd love to. And it's Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson. It's Sarah Silverman. And it's
Marry
called
Me is the name, right?
Marry
Marry
Me.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Marry
Yeah.
Me.
You forgot.
Well, it's like one of those jobs where you come in for like 3, 4 days and I sort of improvise and got to work with Owen Wilson, who's another guy who's just so generous and
He seems
really
like a
smart,
nice dude.
very smart, super supportive.
Did you meet Jennifer?
I did, but I met Jennifer like in a way that everybody meets Jennifer. Like
Okay.
I met Jennifer Lopez like, hi, like.
Did you get your picture with her? Or
No,
no?
I would never.
You're not one of those people that.
No,
It can get awkward, can't it?
Super duper awkward. Yeah, I just shook her hand and I said hello. I'm Utkarsh. Her sister and I know each other. Her sister's a huge Freestyle Love Supreme fan, so her sister and I were chatting. But J-Lo, and it was just like a quick handshake. Hello, this is me. And she looked me dead in the eye and she was like, very nice to meet you. And then kept it moving, which I imagine is how it usually works.
Probably. I remember her sister, actually. I think she used to be on the air. Did she used to be on the air in New York? She was a news
That's
anchor
how we
for a
know
while.
her. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So your career, I mean, everyone's life is sort of like a roller coaster ride, right? So is there sort of a low point that you've ever faced in your life where you thought, this isn't going to happen for me? You had your doubts, you maybe thought about giving up acting. Did you ever have a moment like that? And if so, how did you come out of that? This isn't the most original question, but I think it's always an inspiring question for people who are watching.
Yeah, I wanted to quit several times.
Yeah.
Because you feel powerless. You feel like, oh, I did my best and it's out of, maybe that's not true. But you do feel powerless. And you feel like it's out of my control. These guys don't know. They don't know that. But that's also because I used to base my self-worth, and still do if I'm not careful, on my output as a creative person, as a worker, right? My validation, self-validation, self-worth came from, well, does Sharon like me enough to cast me in her TV show? Because if Sharon doesn't like me enough to cast me in her TV show, then I'm not good enough for her, and I'm just not good.
Yeah.
And so my self-esteem was really locked into success. And that's really dangerous. And that's really unhappy and totally unstable. And once I sort of found, for me, it's making music, the thing that I share with people that I don't really do for money or validation. Also, even playing Fortnite, dude, or playing basketball, like hitting a game-winning shot in a pickup game gives me more joy than like booking a job, because I'm 30. That shit is hard. Like,
really?
Dude, running up and down a basketball court at my age? Are you fucking kidding me? Or even like playing Fortnite, which I'm so bad at.
Are you? You're addicted to it, but you're bad.
Awful. I don't have the hand-eye. I missed out on 20 years of hand-eye coordination training. I'm terrible. But the joy comes from expressing myself without expectations, right? The joy comes from the things that build self-worth. Making my bed every morning gives me self-esteem. I feel self-worth. I feel like I'm taking care of myself.
Yeah.
And that's good. Picking up the phone, being a reliable friend and son and partner, those types of things help me out a lot. And they've helped me have a clear mind. Like I said, my instrument's clean so that when the moment comes, I'm ready to accept it. I'm not afraid of failing. First of all, like I failed so many fucking times and I'm still good. You know, I got 10 fingers and toes, and last time I checked, I can go to the fridge and there's probably an apple in there. Like, you know what I mean? The failure, there's far more failure than success.
Yeah.
So I also don't quit because I never had a plan B. And ultimately I'm insane to some degree. I'm insane. Like if you don't hire me, it's your loss. Like,
yeah.
I have a lot of fuck that in me. Like they didn't give you the job. Well, fuck that and fuck them. Let's keep moving.
And you kind of have to have that attitude, don't you? I think that you talked about ego earlier, and you said you have a certain amount of ego, and I think to be a performer and to go in front of people and be under pressure in that kind of way, you have to have a certain amount of that, don't you?
Yeah, I've sort of come up with this succinct way to phrase it recently, which is like my job, and this is true, so this might be a little embarrassing to share, but like my job is to think without a shadow of a doubt, my job is to think that I'm the greatest of all time.
It is. You have to.
Yeah,
otherwise
and then
you just crumble.
Yeah, and then it's life's job to humble me.
Yeah.
You prove otherwise. By all
That's
means.
Such a good piece of advice.
Like, yo, dude, life, God, whoever you are, tell me if I'm wrong. But but like, I'm just gonna be the dopest.
Like, and
fucking...
a lot of people can be judgmental of that, but it's kind of a survival mechanism to a certain extent. You need that to survive this industry.
Yeah, how can you judge me, bro? Am I like on every fucking billboard in this? No, obviously life is doing winning, so don't worry.
No, like, you're close.
No,
you're close.
I'm doing great. The space that I'm in is, I think, appropriate for the amount of work that I put in, and I think that it is right sized. I think I've no misconceptions about where I sit in the industry and where I sit in my family. Like there's a lot more to achieve, and there's a lot that has been achieved. So like, but for anyone who's like, this dude's got an ego, it's like, dude, like we were on that ramen diet for a minute, so we're celebrating now.
Exactly. And you sort of have to be like, F that to those people as well, don't you?
Yeah, well, for sure.
Yeah. F you.
I mean, not F that. It's like, I get it. Look, I understand. We all, I just try and make sure that I'm doing the right thing for me so I can go to bed at night and not have all those, you know, when you go to bed those nights and all the thoughts pour in and you can't sleep.
Every night, you mean?
Is it every night?
No, yeah, every night. I go through it every night.
I try not. I sleep. I mean, we can talk about that if you want, but I sleep pretty sound these days. Okay. Because of I just try not to. I keep it clean. Like I said, I just try and keep the space between my ears and my heart clean. So when something cool shows up, I'm able to meet the moment. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've gone past our time, right? Because I told you half an hour, and I lied.
But it's super fun. It's nice to chat with you.
This was really fun. Tell me before we go, and I haven't figured out this question situation yet, so I apologize, you guys who have submitted questions. I don't even know where to go to find them. But tell us about your music, because you also put out music on a regular basis. You have a new song out called Slow, which is anything but slow, like banging beat. I love it. But talk to us about the music side of things, where people can find that, and what everything that you're working on. Sure.
If people want to support and they can take the time, it's super appreciated. I'm an independent music artist, so anytime you can share or listen to the music, it costs you nothing, but it means the world to me. So thank you for those who are watching that do support. Just my first and last name, Utkarsh Ambudkar, on Spotify, Apple Music. There's some videos on YouTube that you can watch them or not. It's up to you. But I have a new song called Slow, and I have a new album coming out. Well, who knows? It's all finished. I've got like, I don't know, several. I got a lot. I have like there's a lot of music. I enjoy making music, and it
Yeah. You just
keeps
have
me.
to figure out, I guess, the right time to put it out. Because now,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, it's like the right time and
yeah,
right messaging, and you want to sort of. Aquemini was dope because it was a great album,
yeah.
and maybe it's foolish to put out full albums. Maybe you should put out one song at a time. So just to give you a look behind the curtain of business, it's like, well, do you put out a 3-song EP? Do you do singles? Do you do a whole album? And then you just get caught. Next thing you know, 6 months have passed, and you're like, why aren't we releasing this? So I'll
Yeah.
put out some shit soon. Do not worry. There's a new song called Slow. There's a lot of music
It's a
on
great song,
Spotify.
guys. Check it
Thank
out. You
you.
have to. Yeah.
Super fun. And again, I make music just for me and my heart and for my own peace of mind and my own spiritual fitness. So if you enjoy it, that's wonderful, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's where I'm at with the music.
Nice. Let's wrap it up with your story on Andre 3000 because I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. Well, you can watch it on my Instagram. You can just go to my Instagram right now and see the story, but I don't want to take that away from people. But
check it out. Check it out on the Insta. It was a good video. Yeah. 'Cause the way you told it was very compelling. Bananas. It's like you're hanging on to every word, like what's about to happen here. And I just gave away the punchline, didn't I? Oops.
Yeah, bottom line, but I'll tell you this that's not in the story. We were going to I'm pretty private about my family, but we just had a baby. My
Congratulations,
son,
by the way. How old's your baby now?
He's 3 weeks and a few days.
Wow.
He's been arrested. His name's Boomy.
Oh.
He's been arrested 3 times already.
Already? Takes after his dad then.
Yeah, for tax evasion, and he's fucking up. I can't afford the bail, if I'm being perfectly honest.
I've seen the pictures though. Amazing. Congrats to you guys.
Thank you. And it was his first pediatrician meeting. So we're like at the doctor's office, and it was really tense because I'm very tense during this pandemic. I want my family to be safe, and like I'm wiping everything down and hand sanitize shit. And like, if you're not taking it seriously, then like like I can be pretty forceful. So like my wife and I, it was a little testy, not because of her, because of me. And so that was sort of the context in which I then fucking met Andre 3000 in the parking lot of the pediatrician's office on my son's first doctor visit. And it's like, yo, is this little baby like cool? Like, does he have everything he needs? Like, and he's fine. Everything is good. God bless. Thank you. But that's what made it even more special. And I was like, yo, Dre, like, I really want you to meet my son, but like, number one, you don't have gloves or a mask on. And like this motherfucker's immune system is non-existent. So like I would really, really love for you to bless my child. But you're not keeping up with the proper quarantine protocol. So I gotta let that one slide. Maybe
it's not gonna happen on this occasion.
No way. He even went to like Pound.
Oh no. No touching.
I did though. It's Andre 3000.
Oh, you did.
I was like, I'm gonna pound, but I'm also not gonna feel guilty about immediately reaching for my hand sanitizer after we do it. Which is what I did. I was like, here's the pound, and then I made it very open gesture.
That's a skit right there.
I was
That's a comedy skit.
Sorry, dude. Sorry, dude. You understand.
That's awesome.
So
awesome. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, that's okay. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And this was great timing because it's telling me we have 38 seconds before we get cut off.
Good. Great.
So this is great. We got in a full hour. I am super proud of you, though. And
thank you.
You said you're not on billboards yet. You're going to be on billboards everywhere. Sunset Boulevard, Times Square. It's going to be happening soon. We're going to be watching you closely, and I'm sure I'll be interviewing you again and staying in touch, of course, in the meantime.
Hell yeah. We'll do it together. I'll see you at the top. We're on our way.
We're on our way. We're on our way. Utkarsh, thank you so much.
Thanks, Sharon. Lots of love to you.
Stay safe.
You too. Be careful out there. Later, Chewy.
And guys, thank you.